So if you recall from my other videos, we've got this Hifonics 12-inch sub in the Jetta here that's in a fiberglass enclosure, custom made. And we've got a US Acoustics 2080 amplifier that's powering the subwoofer, and I can't remember how I've got it hooked up here on the speaker outputs. It may be in bridge mode, I can't remember, but anyway, gonna hook it up to the little upgraded amp that's actually much smaller than this one, and this one's not, you know, if you look at the key here, it's not a huge amp, and we're gonna put something in there that's a little bit more efficient, puts out some more oomph into the bass, and we'll take a listen before and after. This is the new amp. It's an MD Sound MD SW2601, which is a mono amp, and they're advertising it as less than 1% distortion, 180 watts into 4 ohms, 300 watts into 2 ohms, and they list RMS bridge at 400 watts, but you know what, we can't really believe that. We'll go with the 300 watts and 2 ohms, and that's what we're going to get with the dual 4 ohm Hifonics sub. So we'll have a little bit more power than the amp that's there. We've got a nice little remote here. You can mount that under your seat, under the dash, wherever. Gives you the volume control for the amplifier. And we just pop the thing off here. You even get a nice little MD Sound bag that you can give to your girlfriend to store all the diamonds in. And there's the amp. It's pretty small. Two 40 amp fuses. You've got your speaker outputs right here, and your power ground remote, and on the other side we've got our RCA inputs. Just to the left of that is the remote wire input for your remote. There's a power LED and a protect LED. It's quite heavy duty aluminum casing. On the underside we have a subsonic filter here. Then we have a low pass filter from 40 to 180 Hertz, and then we have the gain control. You can see the toroid coils inside the unit there. And if we hold it up to the existing amp, you can see it's quite a bit smaller. Length, thickness, height, everything. So we'll see how this guy sounds once we get it hooked up. So this is exhibit criminal set.
Outside the South Central area, few cared about the violence because it didn't affect what happened. That's the boss stuff. Back to the criminal set. But they can't catch me yet. Don't take you out, break the neck and get wet from the way of the
Doesn't sound that great actually, it's a little bit distorted.
I'm the only one left in the West.
I mean, it doesn't sound bad, but it's not, sounds good in the car. Sounds pretty good in the car, but it's not that impressive, and I've listened to a lot more bass than that in my life. It's actually quite anemic. Anyway, we're going to see if we can fix this up with the new sub amplifier. First things first, we got to pull the 50 amp fuse out of the fuse holder right there, because we don't want to fry anything while we're disconnecting the old amp. Okay, so we got some speaker connections, power connections, and the remote cable connections to disconnect on this side. On the other side, we pulled out the RCAs already, so that's pretty easy on this side. And then we got to figure out how to mount the amp in that same sort of orientation as the old amp. Okay, here's the same song, Criminal Set. I've got the amp in there now, and what I've done is turn the subsonic filter on about halfway. The low pass filter is as low as it goes, and adjusted the gain, and it sounds a lot fatter than it did before. It does cut out in the protect mode if you're going basically to the maximum loudness, so I'm assuming that it's just hitting, you know, clipping or whatever, and it's protecting itself. But anyway, it sounds a lot fatter than the other amp, and can't complain, you know. Low dollar MD sound amp and kicks butt. Definitely sounds a lot better with that MD Sound 2601 in there. Definitely. If I had to do it again, I would maybe get something a little bit more powerful, but you know, as far as this 12-inch Hifonics El Cheapo subwoofer goes, you can't put too much more power into it, so good enough. So one negative about the amp is when you have the remote control hooked up, you have to turn the gain on the amp like right to maximum, and then even when you turn this all the way up to max, doesn't seem quite as loud as if you don't have the remote on there. And you know what, I'm gonna use the bass knob here to adjust the bass. Other than that, it seems to have basically a clipping type of a filter on there, so when you turn the volume up too loud, it almost seems like the input of the RCAs starts theoretically to clip the output, so then the amp goes into protect mode. So if you really crank it, you can see it go out.
Open the window, I need some wind. Nigga, leave me alone. No more. Too drunk to drive home. Let's get fucked up. Let's get high, let's get drunk. Got that D that ain't no pump. Let's get high, let's get drunk. And Highlanders in the trunk. Got these dogs on the hunt. Let's get fucked up.
I mean, otherwise it's a lot louder than the old amp, so no complaints there. Yeah. Other than that, I mean, the thing protects itself. It doesn't really get hot in that small of a physical package, which is great. It's nowhere, it's not even lukewarm, and I've been playing with it for a bit now. So, yeah. Overall, pretty decent amp for the money.